Dead Driver had a beautiful concept, and it was just a gorgeous film in general. The cinematography was great. It was beautiful and haunting, and I really liked the imagining of the afterlife. I thought that was really cool to see, and I really liked how all of the souls were seen as different ages than what they were in on Earth. I thought that was interesting. I really liked how this story came full circle um, with the reincarnation of Sasha. We have that subtle hint at the driver's daughter having a baby, and then at the end we see why that was mentioned, which I thought that was a really cool foreshadowing, especially going back and watching it a second time and noticing that was really cool. The acting was great. The overall feel of this was just very haunting and just made you think about things that you don't usually avoid thinking about. The whole concept of death and the afterlife is something a lot of us push away in our mind and don't dwell on, but this is a really beautiful film to think about those sorts of things. So yeah, overall I thought this was a really beautiful, gorgeous film, and it really made you think, which was also really cool.
The Dead River deals with death in both painfully sad but also kind of optimistic ways. The use of fluid camera movement that sort of rises above the ground and does a great job of conveying the sense of like a spirit or something otherworldly, kind of observing human action, which very cleverly sort of sets up the narrative. Again, like as well, like the use of photos and kind of archival footage is sort of assembled to create the line flashing before your eyes sequence is also very clever, but also very emotionally affecting. It's loaded. But then also the idea of updating myths about transporting the dead to the other side, to the underworld or whatever, with a kind of modern twist on it was really clever. And the interaction between those two characters was very heartfelt and bittersweet and emotionally resonant. I just think the whole film overall felt haunting, but not depressing, which I think takes real skill and is a real accomplishment when you're dealing with the subject of death.
Dead Driver. What an emotional journey this brought us on. My goodness, I wasn't expecting this. I was so deeply entrenched in these ideas of reincarnation, the traveling of the soul, the purpose of life, and just this metaphysical journey to gently guide the viewers through their own ideas and projections on this. The score and the pacing allowed those emotions to have space to permeate through the piece and avoid it from getting precious, because there was that potential, but we didn't get there. I thought the performances by the actors carried these weighty ideas and themes with ease and a grace necessary for it to have full impact, and maybe not seem preachy or overblown. So I thought this was beautifully shot, and I love how we bookended the piece as well.
This was a really interesting concept for a short film. It had me going right away from the drive there for sure. Uh, really strong writing in that regard. Just they did a great job there. Also, the performances to carry that writing were just fantastic too. Everyone definitely holds their own. Just gives us very strong performances here, and overall, just the execution of this film just really strong. Nothing got in the way of the narrative. It sort of spoke for itself, and it was absolutely compelling that way. So great work.
This film is called The Dead Driver. This was a soulful short. A young girl dies but then communicates with the living. Her performance is soft and sublime, as are the other performances, notably her parents and the van driver. I enjoyed the writing of the piece, fascinating discussion of what happens after people die, with many other lives to live. I liked the gentle soundtrack in the piece, and all the settings worked well. I really love the gorgeous sunny field scenes with the soft, dreamy lighting and white wardrobe. Great job, The Dead Driver. Check it out.
What a wonderful movie. It was really nice to have something that's dealing with something that is usually the subject of horror films, um, coming back to life or whatever. Nobody really came back to life, but we did see this girl sit up. It was like her soul coming out of her body, and anyways, that's usually kind of the stuff of horror. But here we're doing more fantasy, and it's heartwarming, and talking about death and the cycle of it, and where you go and coming back and all these sort of things. And it's a nice mythology that they came up with, and they expressed it in a nice way, with this friendship between the van driver and a dead girl. So yeah, it was really, really nice. Really enjoyed it. The actors, everybody did a wonderful job. Everybody that appeared on screen, the parents, Sasha, the driver, the nurse, everybody, the daughter at the end, everybody that did a great job. Everybody was very real. And the afterlife people too. Everybody was terrific there. But yeah, it was nicely shot, nicely directed, nicely edited, and a great score. So excellent job here. Good job. Yeah, I hope it gets out there and gets seen, 'cause it's really nice.
The Dead Driver. This is the story about inevitability, death. What happens to us in the afterlife is a question most humans take time to consider. This intro could be tightened up. Here, the pacing to get to the meat of the story takes some time, but during this time, we do see the state of raw emotions coming from the mother here. This montage provided from the photographs of our young actress is a touch of reality in this fictional tale. The conversation between the young girl and the driver again brings us back to processing the idealisms of death, touching on beliefs in God and the path to reincarnation, reconnecting with our soulmates, the idea of having many mothers and fathers, remembering our past lives and understanding when it's our time. It's just simply that, our time. The idea of many lives, many masters. This is the tale of two lives intersecting, for with the ending, it's kind of presumed that these two souls were connected in a sense. Even in this lifetime, the driver connected with her post-mortem, for when it's his time to go, she's the first person he sees. The scene stands out for when he almost dies, the driver runs to her as a young child. You get to see the youth parts of his soul kept in now his elderly body. I wouldn't really consider this to be a thriller. The most thrilling aspect of this entire short is when the driver is shot. I would consider this to be more of a tragic drama more than anything.